right, friends, it is that time for...
I know what you're thinking.
The same thing I was thinking when I went down to the mailroom and picked this beast up. It's time to do a new metal print review, part of the 2023 Metal Print Shootout. And the one that is in this big old crate of a box, open from this side only. Fragile contents, do not step or stack. All right. This is... Who is this from? Shiny Prints. So this is a metal print from Shiny Prints. And as I mentioned to you a moment ago, this is actually part of the 2023 Print Shootout. So let me get you up to speed as far as what is going to happen here momentarily. In a moment, I'm going to crack this box open here. There is a metal print, or there better be one inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you A to Z, from the packaging to the print to the colors, that literally A to Z about the print itself. Now, you may agree, you may not, but ultimately the premise behind this here is, if you go out there and spend your hard-earned money on a print from Shiny Prints, you have a good idea as far as what your dollar is going to get you. Now, with this being part of the 2023 Metal Print Shootout, this is a little bit different than our typical print reviews, only in the sense that what we're doing here is we are now testing a bunch of companies with the same exact print size, literally A to Z, and ultimately in the next month and a half or 2 months or so, we're going to crown a winner for 2023. And so we're going to look at the scorecards, and obviously the company with the highest score is going to win. And this thing is with, most of these things I crack open with a knife or a pair of scissors, and it just dawned on me here that I need a Phillips screwdriver, so 1 minute. This will work. Boom. Boom. There we go. Okay, so I'm guessing we pull up on this. But they have nice instructions here. Please handle with care. The corners and edges are easily bendable and prone to chipping when hit with any hard surfaces. Do not force the print out of the frame. Use only the tabs. This is pretty cool. Now, one thing I really admire about this packaging here, I mean, dang, look at that. You have that other piece that was on there to begin with. Now you have these foam inserts here. Here's the print. You have the big old 2x4s, and this is 3/8 inch, it looks like with 3/8 inch plywood sandwiching this print inside here. Now, the reason why, now these guys really take their shipping to a whole nother level. The reason why packaging is so important, and we bring this up in every single one of these videos that I do, is because, especially if you're blind shipping, there's no especially with it. Regardless of whether you're blind shipping this to a client or the print is coming to yourself, you want the print to travel from where the print shop is to its final destination without getting drop kicked or beat the hell up from FedEx, UPS, or DHL, or whoever may be delivering. When a print is packaged properly and so forth, that's going to obviously prevent it from any sort of mishaps that may come along the way. This, again, is just these guys up there. So anyways, we have these red tabs. So this is, let's see. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so the whole print is coming out. Oh, look at that. All right. Let's put this right here. Let me show you the rest of this here. So we have these little foam pieces here. And right on the bottom, you have, the print was actually sitting on 3/4 inch perforated or cardboard chunks there. That is pretty stinking cool. You can drop kick the hell out of this thing, wherever that came from, and this print was going to be A-okay. So as we can see here, the print is, it's actually taped onto this 1/4 inch piece of plywood. Now it's fine. I just realized I don't even have a pair of scissors in here. We'll make this thing work. Okay, so let's pop this off here. Oh, this is not going to You know what's funny is since the move, again, a buddy of mine sent me a bunch of knives that are proper for doing something like this. And I know exactly where they are at. They're in my garage, and I always keep forgetting to grab them and bring them into my studio here where I can do this. So we're going to do this. Yeah, not the right way. Okay, let's crack this open. All right, so there's that. Now we can see here is our print. It is tucked away inside this bag. Chunk of plastic here. Actually, it's a bag. I give these guys credit. Man, they really packaged the heck out of this thing. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, so there's that, and voila. Jesus. This. Wow. This is pretty darn slick. Now, as I pointed out, we went with a different type of image this year for the shootout. Particularly, I wanted some big, vast areas here, and that was for a very specific reason. When a company's print head is not calibrated properly or isn't cleaned properly, you get some wonkiness, some banding, it's all sorts of nasty artifacts that end up into the print. So it's a good way with these big solid colors. It's a good place to see if any of that wonkiness is taking place. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to start off with by looking through. And one of the things I liked about this particular image when we ordered it, this area right here, you have all these lines going through this, all these strands in this design, which allows us to be able to see the sharpness and the detail quite easily versus some of the other prints that we've used in the past. So that is what I'm looking at right now. I can tell you the colors are quite spot on. There is little sign of, actually there's no sign of noise in here, which is really nice. As I pointed out in the last video that we did here, the only downside with this particular image here, all my paw prints are showing up on this quite easily. But this looks really, really fantastic. Now we're going to run our fingers around this to make sure. Wow. And believe it or not, as I pointed out while we do this, okay, we have one slight little nub right here. Nothing. It's just other than that, it's so darn smooth. Believe it or not, we've seen prints where it was like a sawtooth edge going around. You could literally, if you weren't paying attention, cut your fingers. This is so darn smooth. Now let's take a look at the back here of the frame. So we have right here the mounting hardware for the mounting this itself here. They include a little spirit level, 3 screws, and of course the bracket that you're going to mount on the wall to hang this. Now this is aluminum frame that they're using here. So now the next part that I'm looking at here is the actual, if you look at the corners here, and the corners, one of the things that I really, and I say this over and over again when I see metal frames like this here, is with a wood frame is forgivable. So if your jig is not set properly and you get a little offness there, yeah, you sand it down a little bit. It's easy to work with. When you get to work with metal, it's not quite as forgiving. So these corners look absolutely incredible. And I know what you may be saying. Well, Alex, hey, it's on the back. Who cares? Well, you know what? You're right. No, it's funny because I was talking to a colleague earlier today about this. And so the importance with this here is my job to report everything to you folks. Realistically, when this is mounted up on the wall, yeah, who cares what it looks like on the back of it? But imagine for a moment, Where it does count is you're drop shipping this to a client. They're looking at it. Now this print becomes representation of you as a professional. So every little discrepancy on here is representation. They're going to come to you, well, you know what? There was a scratch, or the color wasn't off, or the frame wasn't this. Again, you didn't print it, but it was through the print now becomes a representation of who you are. Now, one of the things that I like here, and I pointed out on the last one as well, these have the big old knobby rubber knobs here. I like this. So when you mount it up against the wall, being a metal print, this is going to, if you don't have those rubber knobs on there, that could potentially scratch. That could potentially scratch your wall. So those rubber knobs there, as much as I'd love to see everybody doing it, you don't see it. That's nice. Now, let me take one final look. I just noticed at the corners here. And as you can see there, these corners really look fantastic. Let's take a look at the scorecard for shiny prints. All right, friends, there you go. The next chapter of the 2023 Metal Print Shootout with shiny prints. And these guys, they really raised the bar. They did a great job on this. Now, what you can expect through as the year progresses through, or the end of this year keeps getting closer, we're going to keep going live with these reviews, part of the Metal Print Shootout. Now, ultimately, at the end of this whole event, we're going to crown a winner. Now, up until then, and on all these videos, you can go down below and take a look at some of the other companies that we reviewed to date. But this, yeah, this is pretty, they did a really good job on this. So with that said, friends, I'm going to be shutting off the cameras. You get out there, stay healthy, and you know what? Take your best shot, and we'll see you during the next video.